What's up, guys? My name is Jacob. I'm with SRS Roofing, Smart Roofer Systems. I sold $2 million in my first 8 months as a first-year sales rep, and I'm going to tell you about urgency and follow-up in this video, how important it is. This is going to be one of the things that most newer reps are going to have trouble overcoming, especially when there isn't enough urgency in the sale. And I'm going to talk about how to overcome that and how to actually build urgency in the sale so that you can make more sales. All right? So let's check it out. Ultimately, end of the day, this is the most important piece. If I can impart some knowledge onto you, this is what I would give you. You need three things to close. The prospect needs to believe and understand and have these three internal beliefs. They need to know they need the roof replaced, and they need to do it now more than ever. Urgency. Okay, that's number one. Number two is trust. They need to trust you. They need to trust your company. They need to know that you're the right people to help them out. Okay, if they don't feel that way, it's not going to close. And the last is finances. They need to know that they can afford it today, not in the future, but why can they afford it today? How can they afford it today? So if you can't overcome that, it's not going to close. They need these three things, all right? And it's also in that order, because if they're not urgent to get it done, it doesn't matter who they trust or who they don't trust. They're not looking to get it done. If they don't trust you, then they're not going to try to figure out their finances with you. Okay, so these things need to happen in order, and this is how they happen in order when it comes to selling, regardless of what it is. It doesn't matter. HVAC, roofing, electrical, selling blinds, whatever it is, they need to have these three things, all right? So a question that I love to ask is the urgency gauge question. And I would ask this during the discovery phase when you call the lead and you say, hey, this is Jacob. I just saw that we had an appointment booked. I wanted to reach out, ask you a couple questions, and just introduce myself. Is that cool? Great. Hey, by the way, what's happening with the roof? Oh, okay, you got some leaks happening, blah, 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 blah. Ask a couple more questions. Hey, by the way, if everything lined up for you, how soon would you be looking to get your project done? Oh, well, I'm not exactly sure yet. We need to find out a bit more about pricing. Totally get it, but if everything lined up for you, will this be something you were looking to get done sooner rather than later? Yeah, it is. Perfect. Okay. Now, what did I just do? I'm gauging how soon they're wanting to get this done. It's very important. They tell me they want to push it out till next year, or they're like, hey, we're just getting pricing. I want to see, or I want to wait till next year or something like that. I know now that I need to do a little bit more groundwork and a little more legwork when it comes to actually showing them why it's more urgent now, okay? So ask the question during the discovery call process to get a gauge on where they're at, where their head's at with how urgent they are to get this done. Everybody's scenario is a little bit different. Urgency can be created. So while you're at the sale, it's very important. A lot of people ask me, how do you create urgency within the sale? Well, you have to show them that their problems are clear during the inspection process, walk them through the photos, and explain the issues that are currently happening. So when you sit down at the table with them after you perform the inspection, you want to walk them through all the photos that you took photos of and explain to them what's happening. They might already know that they have leaks, but if you could really show them and drive home how urgent it is that they get this done today, they get committed today to doing it, then you will knock that, or you'll check off that urgency box. Okay, so when you go through the problem awareness part, you're sitting at the table with them, you're saying, hey, I'd like to show you some things that I found. Let's walk through it. Pull out your iPad or your phone, whatever it is, and show them the photos that you took. Sometimes there isn't anything that really stands out, and you have to explain to them maybe their shingles, the granules are starting to fall out of their shingles. They're starting to really dry out, and it's going to crack, and eventually the wind's going to start picking them up, and it's just going to lead to other issues that are going to cost more in damages that happen within the home. So it's really important that you explain it to them in a way where they understand that they can't afford not to do it, okay? So they can't afford to wait, because what happens when they wait? Well, if they wait longer, prices only go up. Let's say they say, hey, look, I want to wait till next year. Totally understand. But here's the thing. What a lot of people run into is that prices go up like 5 to 6% each year, compounded with construction. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you're actually paying thousands of dollars more next year than you are this year. And additionally, you're also running the risk of damages happening within the home. So if you do wait, you run the risk of paying more, not only in rising material and labor costs, but in damage to your home, okay? So we wouldn't want you paying an extra $3,000, $4,000 for a project that we can just get done today. You can actually save money by doing it today. Help them understand that concept. It's very important, because if you're able to reframe their belief around making it less expensive today, you're like, yes, here's the cost, but here's what the cost could be if you wait, all right? So they can't afford not to do it right now. And if they say, hey, if you check that box off and you're to the finances part and they say, hey, look, I can't afford this today. If you do not have a financing option for them where it's a 0% down for a certain amount of time, go find one. Use that. That's a tool in your toolbox that you can use to help them get it done today, because ultimately it is cheaper today than it's going to be next year. And you literally have to believe that yourself. If you don't believe that, then you're not going to be able to sell this way. So you have to believe in your heart of hearts that it is cheaper for them today, which it is, okay? It is cheaper for them today to get it done today. All right? So here's the thing. When you're at this stage, you're sitting down with them, you've talked through the problem awareness, you've shown them the photos. I want you to get them to commit. If you feel like they're on the fence, you need to check that box off of urgency. And so you need to get them to commit to getting it done today. And this is how you do it. And this is a great way to do it, okay? You want to ask them, say like, hey, look, explain to them the cost of waiting. And you say, whether it be with me or someone else, I just want to make sure that you're committed to getting this done. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, if you wait a year, it's going to be more expensive. Are you committed to getting this done today? Now, what did I just do? I'm not getting them to commit to me. I'm just getting them to commit to the idea of getting it done. If you do not check that box off, you can't move on to the next one about which company is the right one for them, okay? So, like we were saying, urgency first, then trust. We got to knock the urgency down first. That's what we're doing. Are you committed to getting it done sooner rather than later? Yes, perfect, check. You're checking it off, okay? All right. Whether it be with me or someone else. Remember that. I want you guys to write that down. Whether it be with me or someone else, I just want to make sure that you're committed to getting it done, okay? They say, perfect, cool, moving along. Now, I want to give you some kind of special, I don't want to call them tactics, but this is something I use to clean out my CRM for aged leads. Maybe they haven't made a decision in 14 or 21 days. I will hit them up, I'll call them on the phone, and I'll say, hey, Susan, last time we chatted, I remember that thing that was holding you back from making a decision was this. Is that still happening, or have you found somebody to help you out just yet? She says, no, we're still making a decision. Say, perfect. Well, hey, I wanted to let you know, we actually had a project fall through for next week, and I need to fill that spot as soon as possible because I'm looking to keep my crews busy, okay? By the way, if you do commit to getting it done next week, because I know you still need to get it done, I'd be willing to sweeten the deal for you. And I can drop it from X price to Y price, okay? Would you be willing to take me up on that? I can guarantee you're gonna close sales if you use this. The best thing to do is, number one, call them up and confirm if they've gotten the project done or not. They've already made a decision, and confirm if that thing was still the thing that's holding them back. So you talk to them, you know what their holdup was, bring that up again and say, have you made a decision yet? No, then say this, okay? So I will go through every week and use this. I'll go through and call my leads, and you don't want to use this multiple times. It's just a one-time thing. That's why it's called a Hail Mary. And if they still say no, then I might even just mark them as lost, right? I've attempted to make the sale. I was not able to make the sale, so I'll mark them as lost. But what I can guarantee you is if you got 10 leads, you'll at least close 3 or 4 of them with this offer that are on the fence, okay? So use this and write this down or remember this. Okay, if you're able to make a decision today, I could take care of you on the price because it keeps my crew working and saves me the headache of scrambling last minute. I'd be willing to drop the price from X to Y if you're able to take me up on that today. Right, let's get you on the schedule. Close tons of people this way. This is building urgency, right? So this is building urgency and you're putting a time limit on it. So you're like, hey, if you're able to make a decision within the next couple days, let's get it rocking. I can drop the price for you. Only because I need it so bad. Now, you don't want to do this if you don't have a legitimate reason, okay? This is giving them a legitimate reason. It's irrefutable. They can't be like, okay, well, you're just doing it just to do it. You drop price, you give them the deal, close them down, get them on the schedule, okay? Now, again, if you're gonna drop price, make sure you leave enough margin to do so. So know your margins. For example, if you're gonna go from 30 to 25, make sure you know that you have 30% margin. If you don't have 30% margin, or if you don't have 25, depending on the job, right? Just make sure it's still worth it for you if you're gonna drop price, legitimately. So leave a little negotiation room in your price before you leave the customer. I'm not a big fan of dropping price just to drop price. You know, there's a lot of companies that go, oh, let me talk to my boss, blah, 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 blah. They know that. They already know what you're doing, okay? So they know that it's a sales tactic. So instead of doing that, do something like this, okay? Do something where you have to fill your schedule. They're doing you a favor by doing it. You're giving them a legitimate reason. Let's get them on the schedule, all right? Now, whether or not this is true, the customer does not know, okay? So it is a bit tactical when you're doing this, but what I'm saying is it's irrefutable, and I've closed tons of deals with this, and they need their roof done, and you're helping them along the way, all right? So here's another one. We're heading into our slower season right now, and I'm genuinely looking to keep crews busy and working. What that means for you is that you get our best availability, our full attention on your project. I have a little more flexibility right now than I would in the middle of summer. I'm looking to fill up my schedule for next week as soon as possible. Would you be willing? And if you would be willing to, as soon as possible, and I'd be willing to drop the price from X to Y if we can lock this in and get you on the schedule today or tomorrow. So the excuse is, hey, it's slow season, right? I need to fill up my schedule. This is another way that you can do it. You can even do this while you're on site with the customer, while you're in front of them. Be like, look, hey, I got to be honest. Like right now, it is a bit slow, and I'd be willing to drop the price if you're able to get on the schedule with me. This is like the lowest I could possibly go, but it would have to be next week because I'm really trying to fill my schedule for my guys and keep them busy, right? And so this works. I've used it. Okay, and some people are like, oh, I don't want them to know that I'm not busy. So what? You know, especially if you're able to make the sale because of it, and they're like, totally help you out. And also, it's a special offer. Okay, this is a special offer. All right. So guys, use this stuff sparingly. Like, don't overuse it. But what I want you to know and what I want you to take away from this is you need urgency to make the sale. Urgency is built through the prospect feeling like they need to get it done now versus in a year. How do you do that? You need to show them why, literally with photos and videos of their attic space, of their roof, of their flashing, whatever you need to do to build that urgency and put focus on that, because you have to knock that down before you move on to, hey, by the way, you should choose our company. They don't care. They don't even know they need to get their roof done yet. This is especially true with door knocking, because you might knock on somebody's door and they might say, oh, we got a couple years left. And you need to be like, let me show you why you don't. But you can't say that outright. So you say, hey, look, I can just hop up on the roof, take some photos, and if I find nothing, I'll be right out of your hair. But if I do find anything, would you want to see it? Yes? Okay, perfect. It'll just take me 10 minutes. I'm going to hop up there, check it out. Is that fair? Yes. So now you can take photos and build urgency and get them to commit to doing it sooner rather than later, then move on to trust. Okay? So anyways, thank you for coming. By the way, if you are a sales rep, business owner, any type of position in the roofing industry, and you would like to excel and grow this year and next year and make 2027 or the end of 2026 the best year you've ever had in your entire life, what I want you to do is go to the description at the bottom of the video, smartroofersystems.com. We have a lot of coaching opportunities, and we are opening up our coaching program to a limited amount of people. So hit us up. You can DM me on Facebook, Instagram, or comment down below. Go click the link, follow it, and I'll see you in the next one.